Hello, my dear. My name is Gloria. Would you like me to guide you to the land of dreams? Just follow my voice. Let go of the day and come sail with me into the soft stillness of night. Close your eyes. Let your breath become slower, softer. The waves are calm tonight, like a lullaby sung by the sea. The boy in the boat is already dreaming. His heart quiet, his spirit light. Can you feel it? The gentle rocking of the water, the glow of the lantern, the sky dressed in velvet clouds and golden light. You are safe now. You are warm. Let the music cradle your thoughts, and the story guide you gently, like a tiny boat in a peaceful ocean of sleep. Drift with me and sleep like a little lamb. The drift begins. The sea was still, so still, it looked like glass. A soft breeze whispered across the surface, stirring only the tiniest ripples, like sighs in a sleeping world. The sky above melted from soft peach to lavender, a painted dome of twilight wrapped around the horizon. In the center of it all, a small wooden boat drifted gently. Inside, a boy, no older than 10, lay curled in a warm blanket, his cheeks flushed from the sun and his breath slow with peace. He had no name here, not really. In dreams, names are less important than feelings. And all he felt now was safe. The lantern hanging from the bow flickered with golden light, casting soft glows that danced across the wood. The boy's fingers rested loosely on the side of the boat, trailing the water whenever the vessel rocked close enough. Above him, a single star had just blinked into view, as if winking at the boy, like an old friend saying, "Welcome back." He didn't speak. He didn't need to. His dreams had already begun, even with eyes still half open. And as the boat rocked forward, the world behind him faded. No noise, no rush, no fear. Only the gentle hush of water, the warmth of the sky, and the steady beat of a quiet heart, floating softly into sleep. The dream current. Time slipped away, not lost, but dissolved, like sugar in warm tea. The boy's breaths were now the only rhythm, slower than the waves, deeper than the sky. And in that quiet, the dream began to take form, not with loud pictures or noise, but with feeling. The sea beneath the boat turned almost silver, glowing with a faint, magical light. The boy floated not just on water now, but on memory, on longing, on peace that stretched beyond the body. He found himself walking, barefoot, light, along a beach he had never seen, yet somehow always known. The stars blinked softly above, not scattered, but arranged, as if telling a story only he could read. The sand beneath his feet shimmered faintly, and each step made no sound. A breeze touched his face like a whisper from someone long gone. It did not ask questions. It simply said, "You are home." There were no shadows here, no clocks, no expectations. Just the hush of tide and sky, and the knowledge that everything broken was mending in silence. He paused, looking up. One star pulsed brighter than the rest, and for a moment he remembered something. Not a name, but a feeling. Of being held. Of being enough. Then, without fear, he let himself drift again. sinking deeper into the current of the dream, letting it carry him where only true sleep can go. Where the light waits. The boat no longer seemed to float on water, but on a sea made of silence and stars. Even time had curled up somewhere quiet, tucked beneath a blanket of stillness. The boy, lost in dream, walked now through a meadow that shimmered under the moon. Each blade of grass glowed softly, swaying not with wind, but with memory. He paused beside a gentle hill, and there, nestled among the flowers, lay a small lamb, its eyes closed, chest rising slowly, as if it too were dreaming. The boy sat beside it, saying nothing. There was no need. The lamb leaned against him, warm and trusting, as if it had been waiting for him all along. Above them, the sky pulsed with quiet life. No constellations, no names, just light, drifting like petals in slow motion. He reached out, fingers brushing the lamb's soft wool. And in that moment, something in him opened. A feeling he didn't have a name for, but had always longed to know. Peace. Not the kind you chase, but the kind that finds you when you finally stop running. And in that peace, the boy leaned back into the grass. The lamb curled at his side, and he listened, not with his ears, but with his whole being, to the quiet, to the world, to himself. The meadow of forgotten joys. He lay there for a long time, the boy and the lamb, curled together beneath the watchful stars. The grass beneath them was warm and soft, as if the earth itself was humming a lullaby just for them. The boy looked up at the sky, not in search of answers, but in gratitude. The kind of quiet thanks that lives in the heart, when words are too small. He remembered laughter, not loud or forced, but soft, like a candle glowing in the dark. He remembered the feel of small fingers wrapped around his, the sound of someone reading to him before sleep. And he remembered something else too, the feeling of being held. Just because he was there. Not because he had to be strong. Not because he had to earn it. But simply because he was loved. He let those memories bloom inside him, like gentle flowers returning in spring. Around the boy, the meadow stretched endlessly, but not in a way that felt lonely. It felt open. Free. A place made of space to breathe. Space to be. The lamb shifted slightly, nestling its head against his chest. The boy smiled and placed his hand gently over its back. Its heartbeat was soft and slow, a tiny echo of his own. No shadows chased him here. No voices hurried him along. No weight pressed against his shoulders. Only rest. Only breath. Only the slow and sacred rhythm of just being. Above them, a gentle breeze stirred the stars. And for the first time in a long time, the boy felt what it meant to be whole. The moonlight dance. A soft sound floated through the air, not quite music, but something close, like wind moving gently through silver leaves. The boy opened his dream eyes, and ahead of him, where the meadow touched the edge of a wide-open hill, there was light, not from the stars, but from the moon. now high and round, casting a soft glow across the field. And there, in the middle of it, danced 3 girls, barefoot in the grass. Their dresses shimmered like water, and their laughter was so gentle. It felt like it belonged to the wind itself. One of them saw him. The youngest, her hair the color of honey under moonlight. She tilted her head, smiled, and reached out a hand. The boy rose slowly, not afraid. His feet felt weightless, as if the earth was giving him permission to float. He stepped into the moonlight. She took his hand. No words were spoken, only movement. Together, they turned slowly beneath the stars. Her fingers wrapped around his heart beating to the rhythm of a song that seemed to come from inside the world itself. Her eyes glowed with kindness, not the kind that expects, but the kind that accepts. Like she had known him in dreams before this one, and had waited patiently in the silver grass. The other girls danced around them, soft spirals like petals blown in a circle. And above them, the moon smiled, not distant, but close enough to touch. In that moment, the boy didn't feel like a child or a dreamer. He felt like part of something beautiful, like someone who belonged. And as they danced, the stars leaned closer. The world faded softer, and sleep grew deeper. Where fingers remember. The dance slowed, but the moment didn't end. The girl's hand stayed in his, and the stars above seemed to dim just a little. Not out of sadness, but so the light between them could shine more softly. They walked together, barefoot over moon-warmed grass. Her fingers didn't grip his, they simply rested there, as though they'd always belonged in his palm. He glanced sideways at her, and though he didn't know her name, he knew the way her presence felt. Like a quiet place in a noisy world. Like sunlight through closed eyelids. Like home. She looked up at him with a smile so gentle. He felt something loosen in his chest, a knot he hadn't even known he carried. They came to a low hill where a willow tree stood, its long branches like sleepy arms. There, she sat, pulling him gently down beside her. They didn't speak, but everything was said, in the way her shoulder leaned lightly into his, in the way their feet touched, just barely, beneath the grass, in the way the night made room for them, like even time itself respected their quiet. She reached out and brushed a bit of starlight from his hair, and though it was only a dream, he felt it, not as a spark, but as warmth. Like someone had seen him, truly, and still stayed close. The boat, now far behind in the sea of sleep, waited patiently. It knew he would return when he was ready. But for now, he simply sat beneath the willow, his hand in hers, the moon hanging like a blessing above them. And in that hush, his heart whispered something even he couldn't quite hear. But she did. Because in dreams, sometimes it's not the words we remember, but the feeling of fingers that never let go. The quiet joy. The world around them pulsed in silence. Not empty, but full. Full of moments too soft for words. Full of peace so complete. Even the stars seemed to exhale. The girl leaned her head on his shoulder. No movement, no rush. Only closeness. Like the way flowers lean toward the sun. Without needing to be told. The boy closed his eyes. Not to sleep, but to feel it deeper. The hush of her breath. The soft tick of the grass against their skin. The rhythm of the earth gently turning beneath them. For a while, they just Saturday. Time forgot them. And they forgot time. He didn't miss anything. He didn't wish for anything. Everything he ever longed for was already there. Wrapped in the moment like a gift he didn't even know how to ask for. The moon moved slowly above them, casting silver light over their hands, still folded together like they were made that way. And in his chest, where once there had been weight and wondering, there was only one thing now. Joy. Not loud, not flashing, but the kind of joy that sits quietly inside you and makes everything else go still. Like the sea when it stops speaking, because everything that needs to be said is already understood. He looked over at her. She looked up at him. And they both smiled. Not because of something funny, but because they were there. Together. And that was everything. They sat there, wrapped in a silence that wasn't empty, but full of something too delicate for words. A soft breeze whispered through the grass, carrying with it the scent of distant flowers they couldn't see, yet somehow felt deep within their hearts. Her hand, still clasped in his, tightened just slightly, as if she wanted to hold this moment forever, without needing to say a single thing. Every now and then, a leaf would drift down from a nearby tree, landing softly beside them like nature's quiet blessing. He opened his eyes, gazing out into the dark sky, now sprinkled with shimmering stars that seemed to know their story. A story of two souls who had found something wordless yet profound. There was nothing else he needed. No questions to unravel, no worries to weigh them down. Just a silent joy, the kind that fills you so fully. You feel like you're wrapped in the warmest dream, and never want to wake up. With every breath and every heartbeat, he felt their connection deepen, an invisible thread of warmth and safety, binding them closer than ever before. And as the world gently slid through the night, they knew they weren't alone. They had each other, and that was everything. The night grew softer around them, like a velvet blanket wrapped gently over their shoulders. The stars blinked slowly, as if breathing with the rhythm of the earth below. He turned his head slightly, brushing a stray lock of hair from her face, his fingers trembling just a little, though his heart felt steady and sure. She smiled, a quiet, knowing smile. Not from words, but from the space between them where feelings blossomed like wildflowers. In that silent space, they found a language of glances and gentle touches. A promise that needed no sound. The cool night air carried the faintest hint of jasmine. And with it, a feeling that magic wasn't just a story told in books, but something alive, shimmering just beneath the surface of everything. He breathed her in, the softness of her skin, the warmth of her presence beside him. And for a moment, the world held its breath, too. No fears, no past pains, no future worries. Only this, two souls quietly unfolding, wrapped in a joy that didn't shout but simply glowed. Steady and deep like the moonlight that bathed them both. They stayed there, just like that, until the first hints of dawn began to stretch across the horizon, painting the sky in gentle shades of rose and gold. And even then, neither wanted to break the spell. As the first light of dawn began to paint the sky with soft hues of pink and gold, their eyes met once again, and in that quiet moment, there was a new kind of light shining between them. It was a gentle glow, not from the sun, but from something deeper. The sparkle of dreams shared, of hopes quietly whispered, of a joy so tender it almost felt like a secret. Her eyes held the shimmer of stars, the kind of sparkle that only comes after a night spent, wrapped in peaceful dreams and the warmth of belonging. His gaze softened, reflecting that same silent happiness, like the calm after a storm, or the stillness when the world finally lets you breathe. There was a dream in their eyes, not a wild, rushing dream, but one that moved like a slow river, steady and sure, carrying them gently toward everything they had ever wished for. The quiet joy in their hearts felt like a promise. No matter where life would lead them next, this moment, this feeling, would always be a place they could return to. And as the sun slowly rose, spilling warmth over the world, they held on to each other, their smiles bright with the light of 1,000 peaceful nights. The soft, shimmering joy of a shared dream come true. The moon hung low and full, casting silver light like a gentle caress over the world. They rose slowly, still holding hands, and stepped quietly into the soft night air. The kind of night where every sound is a whisper, and every breath feels like a secret shared. The path led them into a grove of lilac bushes, their blossoms heavy with sweet fragrance, perfuming the cool air with a scent both fresh and timeless. Under the pale moonlight, the jorgaven petals seemed to glow, pale purples and soft whites shimmering like tiny stars fallen to earth. She reached out, letting the blossoms brush softly against her fingertips, closing her eyes for a moment, breathing deeply, letting the scent wrap around her like a memory she never wanted to forget. He smiled, watching her with that quiet joy still shining bright in his eyes. They walked slowly through the grove, the crunch of fallen leaves soft beneath their steps, and the distant call of a night bird weaving through the stillness. The world felt endless and tender, as if the night itself was holding its breath, waiting for their story to unfold. A story written not with words, but with every glance, every touch, every quiet heartbeat shared beneath the moon. And in that luminous silence, they danced, not with steps, but with the rhythm of two souls perfectly in tune, moving gently through the night, wrapped in the scent of lilacs and the glow of the moon. As they wandered deeper into the night, the world around them seemed to soften, like a dream folding in on itself. The moonlight draped them gently, and above, the sky stretched wide and endless, painted with stars that blinked like lullabies sung by the universe itself. Their steps slowed, and as they came to a quiet clearing, they found themselves beneath a sky so vast, it felt like the softest, most welcoming embrace. He turned to her, their eyes meeting in a tender promise. And slowly, as if guided by an unseen hand, their heads leaned toward each other, finding rest not in silence alone, but in the simple, perfect weight of togetherness. It was as if they were lying on the softest pillow ever made. A cloud spun from the gentlest whispers of the night, cradling their dreams and fears alike. Their hair mingled with the cool night air, and the world below melted away, leaving only the quiet pulse of their hearts. And the endless sky stretched above, a delicate blanket stitched from moonbeams and stars. In that moment, their breaths slowed, becoming one with the gentle rhythm of the night, and all the quiet joy they carried inside felt like the softest song ever sung, a song that held them close, rocking them gently on the pillow of clouds, where time didn't exist, and all that mattered was the peace of being together, quiet, weightless, and endlessly safe. The cool night air wrapped around them like a gentle lullaby, soft as the velvet petals of the lilacs that still lingered in the breeze. Their bodies rested close, but it was the stillness in their souls that spoke the loudest. A quiet melody only they could hear, woven from shared dreams and silent promises. Above, the stars shimmered like distant lanterns, each one a witness to their quiet joy. A joy that wasn't loud or demanding, but steady and true, like the heartbeat of the earth beneath them. She felt the slow rise and fall of his breath beneath her cheek, and with a gentle sigh, she let her eyelids fall, trusting the night to carry away all the worries she had ever held. In that perfect moment, suspended between sleep and wakefulness, the world faded softly to the edges, until there was only the warmth of his presence, and the feeling that somehow everything was exactly as it should be. And as their breaths found the same calm rhythm, the moon smiled down, a quiet guardian of their shared peace, bathed in silver light that seemed to say, "You are home." The night grew deeper still, wrapping them gently in its quiet embrace. Their hands remained intertwined, fingers softly curling into one another, a silent promise that neither was alone. Breath by breath, the world slowed, the rushing thoughts, the restless worries, all melting away into the cool, still air. His eyes met hers one last time, and in that simple gaze, there was a peace so profound, it seemed to still even the stars themselves. No words were needed, only the soft rhythm of their hearts, beating in quiet harmony, a lullaby sung by the universe just for them. The moon watched over them, its silver light a gentle caress on their skin, whispering softly, "Rest now. Let go. There is nothing to chase, no place to be. Only this moment, soft and endless, where you are safe, and all is well." And as their eyes closed, and dreams began to drift in like a gentle tide, the world held its breath, cradling them in stillness, in the quiet joy of being exactly where they belong. Sleep came slowly, tender and true, a soft song beneath the moon's watchful gaze, and the night carried them away to the calmest place of all,